They did very, very well to be able to get those points on board, but we have more points on offer. And how are we going to find out how we're going to give them out, Blank? We're going to play a bit of Erangel.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to head into game map. I'm so ready for it. It's going to be a fantastic time as we head on in. And you know, we actually really enjoy starting off at Erangel. It feels quite comfortable for us, doesn't it, John? Feels like home. Feels like old times. I smell the smell of freshly baked bread and apple pie on the windowsill cooling.
Wow, double whammy with the pastry.
Absolutely. Love a bit of pastry, I do. But we're going to be checking out the plane path here. Stalbert down to the west end of Sosnovka Island.
But there is skill in that team, for sure. And I'm loving the rotation so far, but I just want to see a bit more of that oomph.
Bit more oomph there from Blank. That's what we want to see. First circle is going to pop north of Rozhok there. They made their way up to the top side. They actually did drop on the south edge, so they have chosen to go up here, Blank. And we'll see if that pays off for them. See where the next circle shifts.
4AM on the screen right now. Suk here from 4AM. Now, this is a really good team. And we saw a little bit of their stats earlier today, doing some pretty decent work. Very different play style to Nova XQF, though, in the league play. At least they are just passing by Alpha 7. Very difficult to attack this compound once a team gets set up in it, especially with the 3-tiered building. But right now, Alpha 7 aren't within the compound. 4AM just scouting it out, seeing what's happening, but now loops are on the case as well.
Yeah, and they're currently circle just to the southwestern edge of shooting range, so they will be all right to maybe put a weight order on that one. However, there's teams coming in from the western edge, Blake.
Yeah, two teams in particular. You've got Abrupt Slayers as well as Digital Athletics. Both teams pretty damn good. Abrupt Slayers definitely went underneath the radar for us in league play, but looking back, they had a massive jump on day 2 to make sure they got here into the Super Weekend. And now the Execute still fairly happy in their position, though. Going back to talk about them really quick, they have Airwolf Limax now coming up on them, but Loops have made their way just underneath Severny towards the hillside, and that is where they'll stay for the time being. Team Secret, again, we saw that nice little knock coming through from Mad Toy with the DP, but now they're going against 4AM. 4AM currently have the high ground.
Dropping the nades downhill. Can be pretty good. Difficult to cook them right, but if you get it, oh my goodness me, is it delicious. Lands the nade and Rex goes down. There's no way they're going to be able to get that back either. Team Secret lose a player in unfortunate circumstances with You High Boy going down earlier as well. They're down to 2.
Next circle comes through. And goddamn, we get this circle so often, don't we, John, where it's on the rivers, small island in between, really cuts up the amount of space you can actually play. And we've got 16 teams still in this lobby. It is certainly going to be one hefty little circle shift here in terms of kills as well as team wipe.
We've also made this rotation down south.
I mean, Bigatron like to do this a lot, where they really do bide their time towards the early game. And that's why, I guess that's why they like to play farm so often, is because they don't have to immediately walk into the circle there, and they can do a lot of scouting going forwards. Right now, they're just passing through Rozhok, looking for a position. We know they have taken up gas station frequently before, and it's a great spot as well. We have overlook onto the rivers as people try and swim across, but this is going to be difficult. Here's Nova XQF, though, just rocking up on Team Secret. Up soon, Bigatron could get very lucky with this one holding towards the west side of Rozhok, wow. But look at that. That is disgusting and ragey. King of the South.
So safe for the moment. Execute. Only 2 players alive, and Zute will have to get rezzed. They're under pressure, as I said, though, from multiple fronts.
Perhaps this is what Nova XQF were worried about, is that making that bridge push too early could have led to them being tripped up on that bridge side, just like Execute have been there. It only took a few players from Power AAA, even though they weren't doing too much, in a decent position. But we do get another south shift. Now, Ragey has to make some cheeky little maneuvers here. He can head down to the water, but look at these nades coming over the top from Alpha 7.
Oh, no. Oh, it's brutal. Oh, Blank, please make it stop. Canada Power just getting bombarded right now, but fortunately, there are a lot of other players waiting in the wings. They just keep going. Okay, and another one, and another one, and another one. Let's see how many more have you got in the back pocket. Goodness me, that's the one. I mean, if you throw 100 nades, one of them's going to land.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was good moves from Canadian Power to lay down the smokes to try and obscure that vision onto that tiny little slit in the side of that shack there to make sure they couldn't get the nades through. But like you said, it was just a matter of time if you've got that many nades on board. But while we can confidently say that Alpha 7 is down on utility, so if you see them later on. Now, Nova XQF currently in the water. We're going to quick replay on the screen.
Ah, this is the nade that threaded the needle, I believe. Oh no, this is the initial roll-up that caused them to go so low. Loop's just going down. Oh, he pushed in on top of his teammate's nade.
That is very upsetting.
That's unfortunate.
So it wasn't intentional. We can make it seem that way. Either way, it would have been accidental, right? But like it was one of those very unfortunate moments.
Certainly is. Nova XQF will have to push down south from the south edge. They made that push down south on the eastern side very, very early, if you remember. I mentioned it.
It took so much time to complete.
Take a position here on the shoreline. This will be good. But now they all have to fight off against each other as Nova XQF suffer pretty heavily there. Powerboy falls as well, and they get eliminated on the cross. Execute. They still have their Lone Ranger kill switch, but he's pinned down right now by 4 Angry Men.
But 4am, they can get a nice firm position on the north side.
Don't forget about
Silas is getting into this.
Don't forget about Abrupt Slayers, though. All 4 of them are still starting to be a player now into the rest of these circles because they just athletics. They get eliminated, but they get a point for their trouble. Bigatron, in the meantime, they've only had 1 kill right now, Blank, but 4 Angry Men, 13.
Fantastic position from them. We saw similar things from them on Sandhawk. I believe it was day 2, where they'd got a really damn good position, cleared their angles effectively, and now they just have to hold this down. Obviously, Abrupt Slayers here, they're going to have to move, but right now, for the time being, they have a nice spot on the hillside ridge. 4am though, Hasaki is pretty close, so pretty far away from his team, and it's Svan over on this side with Sinhei actually just holding it down. Now, I'm very curious to see what 4am does next, because I know they want to get rid of Bigatron. That's how they're posturing right now.
But look at the high ground afforded to Abrupt Slayers right now. Such a difficult position to play around unless you manage to get all these knocks coming on through. And of course, both of them have vested interest in making this happen. Hasaki has been spotted out now, lobs a Molotov towards the Rock of Horizon. Not going to be able to do any tick damage just yet. The Cook comes through, but he's spotted on the off angle. Oh, the MK14's just going to plink you down, Ryzen. Will fall, and 4 Angry Men, they're safer now.
It's such a good rotation from Bigatron, but if you go out here with only 1 kill in the pocket, it is horrendous. You really want this win. You invested a lot of patience into making this happen.
I mean, you say horrendous, but they've already guaranteed themselves 11 points on the game.
Oh, absolutely. But taking that rotation, not affording yourself any kills, to take such a strong position and not get at least that number 2 spot feels really bad.
It's not maximum payoff, certainly, but they have got a whole chunk of points, but really it's 4 Angry Men who've got so many more than everybody else at the moment. 14 points, almost as much as just the chicken dinner on its own for those placements, but they still have a little bit more to go. How much further can they get? Of course, there's 6 points still available, so they could potentially manage to get up to a 20-kill game on that chicken dinner.
Again, see, during the league play, I kept saying I was a big fan of how 4am were playing. It feels like they've really stepped it up here in our angle. And it's not a case of like they've changed anything. It just feels like they've elevated their already positive qualities. I'm really loving to see it. Nice rotations, great long-range fighting, and just very, very calculated moves around the map, especially in high-pressure situations like this, where you've got to deal with a river, you've got to deal with these awful little split, like crunch pushes where you've only got a bridge to rotate across from. Really well done. Now, Abrupt Slayers, they have to move down the hillside. Circle shifts away from them here. So really, you're wondering whether 4am and Bigatron might work together to try and take out this 4-man team. It would make sense in this situation.
I'll tell you who's happy about this spot, though, is the South Asia fans right now. The Abrupt Slayers obviously representing their region in those missions and starting things off very, very well. Looking likely to unlock some of those rewards for our viewers, for our players as well in the South Asia region. So good job them so far, kicking things off well, but they have to go a little bit further if they want that chicken dinner.
Obviously, Bigatron repping it up for SEA2 here. That's Joker going down. And this is exactly what I was talking about. It's like, for this time being, 4am and Bigatron can ignore one another. The big threat to both of them right now in not getting his top 2 spots is Abrupt Slayers.
And they're stopping them from getting into the circle. Abrupt Slayers keep moving forwards and keep taking ground. And at the moment, 4 Angry Men and Bigatron both have to move forwards to get into this next circle. Joker does get killed, does get flushed as well, so their high ground a little bit diminished there. Bigatron now can look to start to move in and get an extra kill point as well. That's very, very notable there.
So, Chari moving forward, just trying to scout out the terrain ahead. Nades now coming through from 4am as Abrupt Slayers get closer and closer to nade distance. And oh my god, Molotov into grenade. You are donezoed.
It's going to be that for them, but we'll see how much further they can get. 2 players now for the Abrupt Slayers. 5 kills still on the cards. A little bit of a standoff developing, Blank, but they get the shift. It goes on top of the Abrupt Slayers, and now 4 Angry Men and Bigatron have to fight.
Absolutely, they do. 4AM needs to shift attention towards Bigatron. They cannot have a thorn in their side as they try to deal with these remaining 2 players from Abrupt Slayers. Abrupt Slayers not going to show their face not quickly at all here. You can see Leon going to drop that backpack, puts it back on again, but that kind of indicates they're going to go for the snaking position going forward, right? Leave 4AM to deal with Bigatron, who is far closer to them. But nice little shift here on the circle goes towards Abrupt Slayers. Like you were saying, John, now they don't have to move.
They can chill, unless they get spotted. Speaking of getting spotted, oh dear. Oh my goodness me, retribution from across the way. Bigatron get dethroned, 12 points, and that's the situation you said you didn't want to see.
Yeah, unfortunate for Bigatron there. 12 points though, nothing to scoff at, like you were saying, John. But now, it is a 2v2, make that a 2v1.
Goodness me, a knock found for 4 Angry Men, but Shinhei is spotted in the grass heaven around the edge, but he's low, and 4 Angry Men crawl their way through the river across